Good morning, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and we got a brand new archetype revealed. And yeah, this should be pretty exciting. This is coming out of the brand new deck build set. This is also coming out with the Yummy archetype, and of course, the new Number Hunter archetype, or Beast Hunter, whatever the furry police officers are. I'm not really sure what their archetype's called yet. But yeah, we have a brand new fusion archetype in the form of Dragon Tails. So let's talk about this. So first things first, we have Dragon Tail Lucas, or Lucasia. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's an Earth spellcaster, effect monster, level 4, 1800 attack, 700 defense. You can only use the first and second event of this card's name once per turn. It discards no more spells summon. You can add one Dragon Tail monster from your deck to hand. And this card is sent to graveyard as fusion material. Set one Dragon Tail spell trap from the deck. So this is an automatic 3 of. This basically does double Rhoda on an 1800 beat stick. It's also a level 4 Earth spellcaster, so there's some pretty good synergies there with spellcaster support. And overall, it is a great card. On normal or special, it searches a Dragon Tail. And then if this card ever leaves the field for fusion material, it also set the Dragon Tail spell trap directly for the deck. So even if they droll after you normal summon this card, once you use it as fusion material, you still get another card because it's setting it from deck, which feels pretty nice. Next we have Dragon Tail Fema, Fymena, Fema, I think it's called. It's a water spellcaster, level 5, 1300 attack, 2500 defense. You can only use the first and second event of this card's name once per turn. During the main phase, quick effect, you may discard this card, fusion summon one dragon monster or spellcaster fusion monster from the extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. Does that include itself? If not, this is like a poly basically. If this card is sent to graveyard as material for a fusion summon, you can set one Dragon Tail spell trap from the deck. So if the first effect allows it to include itself in that fusion summon, then it's good. However, I don't know. It just seems like poly then. During the main phase quick effect, you can discard this card. It is a quick effect, so it is actually that card. It's a quick effect poly, so keep that in mind. That's searchable. So during the main phase quick effect, discard this card. If you summon a dragon or spellcaster monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, so it doesn't include itself. So that kind of sucks. But maybe there's a way to fuse it from grave, so you can still get that second effect. Oh no, because it's sent from the graveyard as materials fusion summon. So, alright, so I'm not sure how you're supposed to get both effects per turn, unless you reborn this thing onto the field and then use it for fusion summon again. It does have to be sent to the graveyard as material for a fusion summon. This card does seem insane though. The fact that it does allow you to quick fusion by discarding itself, so it allows you to dodge targeted negation. Also, it basically says, hey, once I'm used as fusion material, you get another trap or spell from deck. That does feel pretty nice. Next we have Dragon Tail Parn. This is a Wind Dragon, level 7, 2700 attack, 1700 defense. You can only use the first and second of this card's name once per turn. If this card is sent to graveyard as material for a fusion summon, you can set one Dragon Tail spell trap directly from the deck, then destroy one monster on the field. It looks like every card in this archetype just says, hey, if I'm using this fusion material, set a Dragon Tail spell trap directly from the deck, which kind of seems insane. So every card in this deck is playing around Droll. Even the Searcher is playing around Droll, because you can literally go normal summon Lucas, search out Fema, then they'll droll you. It doesn't matter. Use Fema to fusion summon using Lucas, and let's say this Parn, and then bam, you make a fusion, and then you get to set 2 spell and traps starting from the deck, and then you proceed from there. That seems pretty good. Then we have, we haven't finished Parn yet. Second effect is that if this face-up fusion monster you control is destroyed by opponent's card effect while this card is in the graveyard, may place this card on the bottom of the deck. If you do, special summon one non-fusion Dragon Tail monster from your graveyard. So it basically says, hey, when your fusion monster gets killed, well, you can shuffle me back to the bottom of the deck in order to cheat out a guy from grave as a reborn. Not bad. That's actually pretty solid as a chump blocker. Not to mention, there might be a way to fuse summon again on your opponent's turn by just cheating out another guy. Like, for example, you could cheat out Lucas again, and then Lucas can then get you another search, which is pretty nice. And then if you have another quick play FEMA in hand, you can make another fusion play. Is it during only your turn you can make the fusion play for the quick play? Let's see. It's during the main phase. No, so this is during either player's main phase. So that's actually pretty insane. Really good card for Parn. Next we have Dragon Tail Ura. This is a fire dragon at level 6. 2400 attack, 1000 defense. You know, use the first and second for this card once per turn. And this card is set to graveyard as a material for a fusion summon. Set one Dragon Tail card from your deck, then destroy one spell and trap on the field. And this card is in your graveyard. You can target one spell caster Dragon Tail monster in the graveyard. Places the bottom deck and you add it to hand. That seems pretty good. So basically, it's the opposite version of Parn. So Parn pops a monster and sets a Dragon Tail. This sets a spell and trap as well, but it destroys the spell and trap on field. Also, instead of spell summoning a monster, it's adding it to hand, but it has to be specifically the spellcaster ones, which means you can add back FEMA to hand, and then FEMA will then give you the ability to quick fusion on your opponent's turn. That's actually not bad at all. Next, we have Dragon Tail Ophorian. Is an Earth Dragon fusion monster. Level 8, 3000 attack, 2500 defense. Requires one Dragon Tail monster plus one monster in your hand. So that would require Firm. Or the other ones. No use the first and second of this card once per turn. And this card is fusion summon. Target one monsters on the field and or graveyard up to the number of monsters used as material from the hand. Return them to the hand. If two or more monsters are sent to the graveyard at the same time while this card is in your graveyard, you spell summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. That's pretty insane. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This guys is a quick effect compulse for multiple cards. And then if two or more cards are sent to grave while he's in grave, he just spell summons himself. However, he bans himself when he leaves the field. This card seems pretty nutty. I'm not going to lie to you all. Alright, so let's talk about the next fusion monster. Now we have Dragon Tail Gorma. This is a water spellcaster fusion effect monster. Level 7, 2800 attack, 2300 defense. Requires a Dragon Tail monster plus one monster in hand. So it's same generic monster material as the other one. You know, use the first and second of this card's name once per turn. When you activate a Dragon Tail card or effect, quick effect, target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. If you have two or more monsters that are sent to the graveyard at the same time while this card's in your graveyard, you can spell summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. So, same gimmick as before. If two or more monsters are in grave and this card's in grave, you can spell summon it, but banish itself when it leaves the field. However, this one says when a Dragon Tail card is activated, quick effect, target card your opponent controls, destroy it. So the other one's a quick effect compulse. This is a quick effect trident, but it requires a Dragon Tail monster or effect to activate first. So interesting. That is pretty interesting. So we have a compulsor man and we have a popper man. And then everything else helps you facilitate that, which seems pretty cool. Nothing locks you into anything too. So technically you can play this with any dragon spellcaster deck or just any deck in general that has synergy. So keep that in mind. Next you have Kentu Dragon Tail. This is a normal spell card. You can only activate this card's name once per turn. You can add one Dragon Tail monster from your deck to your hand. Then if your opponent controls a monster, you can fuse summon one dragon or spellcaster monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. So that's pretty awesome. So this is a Rhoda. And then if your opponent controls a monster, you can just fusion summon dragon monsters or spellcaster monsters using, it's just poly as well, which is pretty nice. Kentu Dragon Tail seems pretty good. I don't know if you always want to use that second effect, but I guess you could. But it seems pretty awesome. Is it mandatory if your opponent controls? So add one dragon tail to the hand. Then, if your opponent controls monsters and fuses them, the next turn using monsters as material. You can. So it is a you can effect. So you can choose not to do that. Cool. Next we have Ryua Dragon Tail. This is a normal spell card. You can fuse on one Dragon Tail monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand, deck, or field as material. You can't spell some of the rest of the deck except fusion monsters. So this is basically poly. Wait. Fuse summon one Dragon Tail fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand, deck, or field as material. I didn't realize that. So this card's actually kind of crazy. It does lock into fusions, but who cares? Because this card's basically saying as long as you have this card plus any of the main deck monsters, you can summon any of the fusions from extra deck because you're going to use a material from deck. And then these guys are, when they are sent from sent to graveyard, they didn't say where they're sent from graveyard. It just says if this card is sent to graveyard as material for fusion summon. If this card is sent to graveyard as material for fusion summon. So it doesn't even matter if you're sending them from deck, you still get that bonus effect, which is kind of insane. I will say this deck would be like pure branded support if their attributes were not the attributes they were, because we have a earth, a water, a fire, and that's it, and a wind. None of them are darks or lights. Brandon would be like smiling right now if these guys were actually dark and lights, because that means you can send it off Brandon Fusion. Just go Brandon Fusion, send one of these guys, and then just do full combo that way while entering a new combo with these dudes. However, you can't do that, so thank God for that. Unless they have another branded monster I'm thinking of that does not require a light and dark, so keep that in mind. That's it for the spells. Let's talk about Dragon Tail Horn. Is a normal trap card. You know, you activate this card's name once a turn. Target one attack position monster, return it to the hand or extra deck. Then place one Dragon Tail card from your graveyard or banishment to the bottom of the deck, except Dragon Tail Horn. Then draw one card. So it's compulse. So basically, target one attack position monster, return it to the hand or extra deck. Then you shuffle back one of your Dragon Tail monsters to then draw a card. So it's compulse, draw one while also setting a trap from deck or spell from deck. That isn't bad. That's not a bad card. This card literally just says, hey, I'm going to compulse one of your opponent's monsters. Then I'm going to shuffle back some Dragon Tail cards back into deck. And then I'm just going to draw one. So it's technically just a +1 there. Which is pretty nice, because this card's trading for another monster that your opponent summons, and then it's drawing you a card. That's not bad. Next, we have Dragon Tail Flame. This is the last card. You can only activate this card's name once per turn. Target one spell and trap on the field. Negate its effects till the end of the turn. Then place one Dragon Tail card from the graveyard or banishment to the bottom of the deck. Accept Dragon Tail card, then draw one card. So I guess this one gets rid of your opponent's monsters, and this one gets rid of their spells and traps. Not bad. This one's obviously a lot. Oh no, this negates. Negates the effects until the end of the turn. So, okay, so this one's actually better. So the other one's just another glorified compulse. This one's actually just spell and trap negation, which is really cool. So we have a spell and trap negate that draws you one. We have a compulse that draws you one. We have a whole bunch of fusion cards that allow you to summon a Dryden Pop and a multiple bounce fusion monster on our opponent's turn, with a huge recursive resetting of cards. I'm not going to lie, you guys, these cards seem pretty awesome. I think the Archetype seems really good. I have to see where it goes. I don't know if it's enough on its own, but it's definitely a really powerful first wave of support. And if we know anything about these 3-set build archetypes, they get like 4 waves of support afterwards. So I would be surprised if this deck does not get 4 really amazing new cards to just absolutely evolve this deck into like some monstrosity of a archetype. But as of right now, it seems pretty good. Everything seems awesome in it. Like, nothing seems bad. And I want to see where it goes from here. So, that's it for this video. See you next one. Bye-bye.